So this is a character who has been kind of is now it seems like she's going to be perennially running for office. Matt, do you have this introductory video we can put up of hers?
I do, yeah. This isn't from a Paul Verhoeven sort of film, like Starship Troopers
Yeah.
prequel or something.
It's 6 a.m. and I'm doing the 15-mile run from St. Louis City to Gulfport, Missouri, without the hundreds of preachers that wanted to join me because I pissed off a bunch of weak and gay people that always find a way to mess things up. So fuck you and what you become Missouri's 41st Secretary of State. Get it. Made it to Gulfport, Missouri. 15 miles in. I told you I would get it done. No excuses for me.
Oh Jesus!
Okay, not
Your
great
video
audio.
editing there, yeah. And I couldn't really tell. I'm not a connoisseur of weird right wing rap this anymore, but very much like whatever was playing in the background was not like a real song. It was definitely like a kind of weird pro Trump
AI.
rap song, which she's definitely learned and she sort of evolved a little bit, uh, maybe not morally, but in her video editing skills.
8
There's a lot.
minutes and 51 seconds a mile. I mean, okay. I guess
Yeah.
I guess we'll applaud that.
So she was a swimmer at Tulane, and she kind of claims that this is the reason that she got into politics because of the war on girls' sports in particular. So already this is a person with their kind of head up the clouds. She ran for Secretary of State. We played the video before of her burning books as what she intends to do as Secretary of State. Not actually particularly certain what she thinks the Secretary of State does. Uh, I'm not an expert on Missouri's politics, but I don't think that's typically the role of the Secretary of State to be. I mean, burning books in general, but having anything to do with curriculum. She considers herself certainly to be a kind of law enforcement agent. She's been posting a lot of stuff about finding pedophiles. People have probably seen this trend of people who just sort of like um, record themselves posing as young children to kind of get somebody to show up in a public space where they sometimes beat them, other times call the cops. She's been involved in that kind of stuff, very much somebody who likes to be in front of the camera, and she runs for
She's
secretary.
also, according to her Tulane swimming bio, from Jersey City.
Yes, New Jersey, so a real southerner, daughter. Jesus Christ, daughter of Texas. So she runs in Missouri for Secretary of State, and she does I think 7% in the primary. I think she got something like $25,000. Made a big splash because of some of her social media posts, as we just showed. Some of her endorsements were pretty prolific. None other than a Mr. Jordan Peterson. Who's a big fan of hers.
Easy, Jordan.
I know, you got to be a little bit careful. But she's back in politics because it seems like she wants to do another run here. And let's just play this first video here, and then we can get into some of the background stuff. Okay, so we have this one. This is December. So this is shortly after getting 7% of the vote in the primary. Apologies. She just has so many videos, and we're going to have a lot of great entertainment that I have to make sure we're getting the right ones. Here we go. Buckle up, Texas. Let's see what she's got to say to us.
I'm running for Congress in Texas and I'm taking down a rhino and a dinosaur once and for all. Because Congress is full of crooks like Speaker Johnson, who is just a little man with no balls that funds Ukraine and betrays the American people every chance he gets. And then Crenshaw, who is only good at betraying his fellow Navy SEALs. I'm 25 with an MBA, fluent in multiple languages, former NCAA Division I swimmer, and with many more accolades.
This person needs a job.
But here's the only reason why you should vote for me. Because I don't give a fuck what all those bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. think about me. I'm coming to Texas to speak the truth, cook the crooks, and save the children. Buckle up, Texas, because this ain't my first rodeo.
It absolutely is. Just wait. Sorry, Matt. Just to be very clear about one thing. That behind her is not the state of Texas. She's a little quick on the draw, as they say, right? This is filmed in Missouri, 100% here. So a little bit excited. Bags aren't even packed. Dan Crenshaw, she's already moved on from him as her target because Dan Crenshaw might be unpopular with a certain kind of Republican, but that guy is safe for a long time. But go ahead, Matt.
Well, this is all coming into clear view what's happening. I remember because like Valentina, I have a master's degree. I'm overly educated. And I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do after college to pay for all that stuff. And so I was the ages of 25, 26 were pretty untethered from reality. A lot of big dreams, a lot of different things. And when I started podcasting, ultimately, and ultimately worked out for me. So maybe this should actually find her groove here. But this is clearly a person who should be employed somewhere, but is instead pathologically attention seeking. And she's hitting a lot of marks. I think it's not a bad bet to say, like, talking about the balls of certain politicians and whether or not they exist. I think that's going to get. I mean, clearly, it's gotten our attention.
Well, let's get into this. I mean, I want to get just to be very clear again. We played a little bit of her stuff. We won't watch it all. Just a little heads up. This is uh, it's pretty gross stuff. I mean, it's too extreme for Twitter. So just
Don't
FYI
listen
here.
in a public place. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to be very clear about like what this person is, kind of stuff this person is saying before we get into to some of these other things, maybe about employment. Yes, this is what she says, and again, this is an interesting track to take in the Republican Party. We'll see how far it can get you.
Woke is bullshit. I am glad to see President Trump taking my advice in putting a definitive end to all this gay shit once and for all. I called out all those pedophiles from the very beginning, and I was banned from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Wikipedia because of it. So with that being said, 2025 is the year we shove those.
So that's basically what that is. And I just think it's important to remember that this is the kind of stuff that this person is publicly saying, as a lot of these kind of right wing influencers who are going to surround themselves with her, engage in this kind of thing. Remember that like this isn't just like somebody who is, I don't know, outlandish. This is somebody who is definitionally a bigot
Yeah.
and an
Nasty.
attention seeker. And yeah, I just think it's something to note about them. We got more to get to, but just
She should do. She should do. Kill Tony. Why don't they have her on?
I think they did
Oh,
actually.
for real?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I need to look that up.
So Matt was asking about employment because this is where maybe the move to Texas starts to make sense. Again, remember she ran a very uninspiring campaign in Missouri, made almost no money there. Didn't even fundraise a lot of money. Uh, Somebody, I'm not exactly sure what their background is, or writer. They have the kind of New Yorker thing.
Oh
Says,
yeah, he's a New Yorker guy.
okay, Kurt Anderson says, wonder what this person's employer at Nestle, owned pet food company Purina, thinks about these ads by its 24-year-old finance employee who's running in Missouri's GOP primary, which is an interesting question.
Wait, she works for Nestle?
Purina, the dog food company.
This woman works for Purina,
the dog food company. Or the pet food company. I don't know. They make cat food, I guess.
So she does have a job. It's working for Purina.
Well, she has a message for Purina, I think a few weeks after this.
Go woke, go broke. This company tried to keep me quiet for speaking up against the pornographic material in our children's libraries. And today, I fire them. No amount of money, stock, or bullying would make me compromise my values.
Yeah, I don't
so
think
I will never support
that was
a company that wants to empower and protect pedophiles and groomers in our schools and libraries. So feed your dog something that is now weak and gay.
Purina's like, bro,
This
we're
is
trying to We're just trying
So
to make some dog food over
yeah,
here, bro.
yeah, exactly. We're just trying to figure out how much to price our cat chow at. Could you please stop emailing us about your conspiracy theories about what's going on in the libraries? Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, look.
that is so fucking funny.
So
It's just a crash out, but framed as as a campaign for office.
100%. And this is where it gets interesting, right? So she has been in Texas, and I won't make everybody watch over, too many videos of this lady. But she's here, right? And so initially she was going to run against Dan Crenshaw, who's generally in the Houston area, right? Which, as everybody knows, I'm always worried about these freaks. Whenever somebody announces on social media that they're coming to the state of Texas, I'm like, please don't fucking bother me in my hometown. I can't. We are full of freaks like y'all. So I've been trying to see where she's going. And she puts out this video here, which, Matt, you're going to be very interested in this just because of her kind of political theory about why it is that she needs to be in office. Obviously, we're getting rid of the pedophiles, we're dealing with the libraries, all this kind of stuff. But she also has a very, very quaint idea about what is needed to sort of right the wrongs in Congress.
And otherwise, she'd have a big hole in her resume. But
All right. So this is, I believe, at the Capitol. So she did get a plane ticket and come down. She's been posting a lot of videos and stuff of her like driving a truck or like going to Whataburger. Um,
Texas, it's time you find out what district I chose.
I love that it's like the fucking Bachelorette or whatever.
yeah,
It's like
who is
what district is gonna be blessed with the craziest lady from New Jersey. Um,
bigot swimmer from Jersey? Like who? What a fucking prize!
yeah, we are closed to New Jersey. Sorry, guys.
To represent you in
We only got
Congress.
Rogan.
I've taken down pedophiles, criminals, corrupt politicians, and now I'm coming for the Joe Biden of the Republican Party. And when you vote me into Congress, I will become the greatest stock trader of all time. And the best thing.
Also, I'm sorry to keep interrupting this, but already your head should be spinning when you think, who is the Joe Biden of the Republican Party?
I know this is so like look, what she has going for her is she is a young woman who says the word faggot.
Yeah.
And everything else is like that will get through to a target audience that she's seeking.
But I
But
think even
man,
yeah.
like this you're losing a lot of people with this shit. Like it's I don't know.
No, it's a bad. I mean, we've played crazy guys who have run for Texas office, by the way, on this program. Remember the gun guy from a
Oh
little while
yeah.
ago with the podcast? And those guys would get to make some money off of this. I'm sure some weirdos are going to, bother her and try to get something from her. But you're kind of like, just like Musk a little bit with the Teslas, like you're kind of screwing the pooch a little bit. If you just want to be a right wing influencer, there's a way to do this. Anyway, so all right. Guesses in the chat. Who is the Joe Biden of the Republican Party? Your guess is as good as mine.
About it is that I will be sharing every single one of my traits on X just so you can get rich with me and also to piss off every member of Congress that makes money from privileged information. They banned TikTok. Let's see how fast they ban congressional stock trading or put term limits.
All right, so sorry, before we get
I
to
don't
the Bachelorette
I don't
moment,
get that
this
they
is the
just don't-
reason. So we're getting rid of the pedophiles, right? And we're banning books and attacking queer people. The other thing is that she is going to let us all see her stock trading portfolio. Don't forget she's a finance lady, and she's basically going to do corruption, right? This is I love. These are why these guys are always the best, right? It's the same thing with like pedophilia or like Epstein stuff. They're like, oh, maybe they're hanging out there in these communities to like figure out what's going on, take down the bad guy. She's like, hey, I'll do bribery and corruption just like the rest of the people in Congress, but I'll let you know about it so you can take advantage of my stock tips.
This is the theory of there's black hat hackers and white hat hackers and the white hat hackers.
Yeah.
She's been a white hat corrupt politician.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a novel theory.
Texas 31st Congressional District. Buckle up because this time I'm coming with a war chest of cash and crypto.
So super, super cool. And for people who don't know who that is, it's a John Carter, who's a kind of a sleepy member of Congress who probably never heard of before, because basically she wanted to make a big splash and was going to go after Dan Crenshaw, a kind of famous person. Now she's going after an older man. I have his age. He's 83, right? So like that might be that's something I don't know. God bless everybody, but something maybe happens and she gets to take advantage of it.
Did you watch RM Brown's review of the Jubilee thing?
No, I
Because
need to. I bet it's good.
um yeah, like oh damn, I just lost the point I was gonna make on that. Tie it back to this. Sorry.
No worries.
Let's take some questions, maybe I'll
Well,
remember.
there's one last thing. I'm
Is what this
sorry.
sorry, yeah, yeah.
One last thing, and it's almost we've already kind of this might be a little postscript. It was interesting to me because I followed her. I've seen her stuff before, and remember, so she's running in the Round Rock area, which is basically just 40 minutes north of us here. So she's like in the zone. And she posted this video, and this really bothered me because, again, this isn't her just riding around the desert or shooting a gun somewhere. This is her like very close to me at an institution, in sports team that I love very much. Anyway, we'll watch this. By the way, the boots that she's wearing, you can get at Academy. You buy at Academy Sports. Not knocking them, but it's just kind of like a sport. Just like a kind of large goods store. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Yeah. With that form, they had to take a few takes of that. I'm sorry.
well, I don't know about that, Matt. Um, but if people are listening or you're not familiar with this, this is the University of Texas basketball stadium, right? Which is a wild thing. So this crazy lady, this like very like anti-gay bigot, who's announced that they're running for office, is using very prominently the University of Texas in what is ostensibly a kind of campaign video, campaign promotion, if nothing else, right? And it's something that the University of Texas, I think, has to really consider. Tony Hinchcliffe, or whatever the fuck his name is, has been doing a lot of stuff around the University of Texas too. And it's like, look, I get like it could be fun for some of the athletes to see like celebrities, but y'all got to be a little careful about how you let these guys. That guy was at College Game Day, decked out in the University of Texas gear. He's from fucking Ohio, and I think has been here for like a year something, right? The association here is just something to think about. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, think about all the players. Like that floor has been made sort of storied by people like Kevin
I
Durant.
know. No, I mean seriously. And and also like there are people I'm sure don't want her wandering around. And also like it's wild. So let's get into this a little bit because this is the whole reason we did this segment. I'm sorry, folks, for exposing y'all to this lady. I hope it was at least interesting. The reason we did it is because I found this to be really funny. Quick thread from today's Texas Tribune, Kate McGee, Belasia. Give them a follow. Keep up with Texas Tribune on how congressional candidate Valentina Gomez got onto the basketball court at UT's Moody Center. They put in an open records request to the University of Texas to see if this was an authorized use of state property, right? Remember, it's University of Texas. Emails show it was not. According to the docs I received, the conversation started internally when a student named redacted emailed UT Athletics to ask the following: who the fuck allowed this crazy woman in Moody to film a campaign video? Which I, by the way, think is very, very fair.
Bless that student, honestly.
Gomez is running against fellow Republican John Carter for Texas 31. She's known for her brash social media, calling people weak and gay. We already know this. She lost in Missouri last year, by the way. Emails show University of Texas Athletics ran the inquiry up the flagpole. And eventually the VP of the company that runs the venue, Oakview Group, said he was looking into it. According to Oakview Group, Jiff Neckler, Gomez and a colleague gained access to the Moody Center after a vendor left through a door that didn't close properly.
She's a great scammer, man.
So she's like hanging out at the stadium, trying to open up the door. It's such a wild thing to think about. Anyway, we got the footage, right? Nickler took screenshots of the security footage of her getting in there. If you'll notice, sorry, because these are kind of things I pay attention to.
Oh,
Can I zoom in?
wow.
She's
Yeah,
not wearing the boots, but it looks like they might be in a shop bag right there.
that's
I
so
don't know.
funny.
I think I have to open up in a new tab to zoom in. Let me see. I'm gonna get. We're gonna enhance this, folks. We must.
That is such a funny
Um,
detail that she's not wearing the boots in.
yeah. So yeah. So she's definitely not. I don't know how to get this over. There we go.
Is
Yeah.
it
So.
like Brooks? She's wearing, Warren Buffett's, Brooks, shoe line, I think.
Oh shit. Well, that's pretty cool. No, so I mean already here, uh first of all, it should be the other way around, by the way. You should put on the basketball shoes when you start shooting. One last thing here in the story, because it is very funny. We reached out to Gomez for comment. She emailed back and said she apologized for nothing. It was super cool.
Well, yeah, I
Um,
bet she got what she wanted.
but you got to hear this. Our southern border was wide open, and so were the doors of the University of Texas, which is a public institution. All right, they love public institutions all of a sudden,
Oh, of
that
course,
receives
yeah.
funding from taxpayers. And as a proud Texan taxpayer,
For how long?
she's been
What's the
for
total
like
amount of
3 weeks.
taxes she's
It's
paying?
like I show up on vacation in Bali and start being like, "Hey, I'm a taxpayer
I'm a
here. Like
taxpayer.
I own this." And as a proud Texan taxpayer, I walked right through the front door without any problems and took some pictures. Instead of worrying about my beautiful basketball skills, they should address the fact that the indoctrinating of the future of America with their gay guidebook, uncovered by Christopher Rufo, a friend of the show, on affirming asexuality, which explores the identity of gray sexuals. Here's a beautiful picture from Center Court. Center Court. I apologize for nothing. So, um, you know, they should. By the way, University of Texas has a policy that this is criminal trespass. Um, they basically try to follow up for them to see if they will pursue criminal trespass charges against them. I have a feeling that they might not.
It's crazy. I mean, the thing I was gonna say about RM is Jubilee, where it's a weird time with politics because
Yeah.
one point RM made in his video was that you look at the Jubilee other videos and like the Ben Shapiro one
Hmm.
or other right wingers they've had on do huge numbers.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
to do other sort of cultural stuff and people don't give a fuck. Like there is like a huge, and we've talked about it on the show before, such a huge desire for contentious debate,
Oh yeah.
and it's being fed by very I think cynical and but there's so much, like that's why she's doing this. Like in a different world she'd be like trying to be some kind of movie star or something like that, but like this is where the attention is right
But this is how you get kind of confused by the television, because the Trump victory. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of like anti-gay subtext. There's a lot of talk about the border, right? Probably the border more than anything is very effective for folks. But there's also this kind of idea that like, oh, my groceries are going to prices are going to get lower. The economy is going to work better. And she's completely sidestepped that just for like insane cultural war lady. Which I think I feel very confident in saying that the campaign is going to be a disaster. I'm sure it will be a grift. And if I was a member of the Republican Party, because they don't seem to like her since she's obviously calling them all kinds of names and
now.
stuff,
Saying they don't have testicles.
I would maybe take a little bit of time. Hey, just free advice. I don't often give advice to Republicans, but if I'm somebody like Ken Paxton, hell, if I'm the Secretary of State of the state of Texas, I might keep an eye on money and funds and how things are being spent with her campaigns and associated organizations. Hey,
I mean, I'm
it'll
sure
be
I'll just be towards finding pedophiles and stuff.
it will. I mean, she will by 2026. She will be in Orlando, um, getting ready for her third campaign. So, luckily, I mean, by the time the investigation's over, she probably won't be here.